How much did it cost to DIY these wedding flowers? Hey guys, so you may remember recently I did a fall autumn wedding tutorial. So we learned how to make various different arrangements for a micro wedding, let's say 50-ish sort of guests in autumn, sort of fall season. So now that we've learned how to make all of those arrangements, now I'm going to run you through how much it actually cost. Full disclaimer, I'm in Sydney, Australia, so prices will definitely vary region to region, country to country, wherever you are in the world. Even within my own flower market, the prices change. So one grower might be charging one thing, another one might be charging something else. A lot of this has to do with either seasonality, quality, quantity. So due diligence, always do your research. If you're looking for wholesalers or suppliers in your area, I've got a free guide. I'll pop it in the description below. Go and grab it, help yourself out. So, little memory refresh. What exactly did we make? We made a bridal bouquet. We made 2 ceremony arrangements that can then be repurposed to the reception. We also made a bunch of bud vases. I think we made maybe anywhere between 6 to 7 guest tables worth, maybe 20 vases total. Normally, I would use a stem calculator to work out exactly what I need. But in the interest of keeping this simple and full transparency, let's just run through how many stems we used and how much it cost. Now, I've done the maths, I've used a calculator, but I am a creative. As we've learned from past videos, I am crap at maths, so I apologize if there are any mistakes here. Please call me out in the comments below. Now, when you're buying flowers, it is very, very rare that you would buy a single stem flower. You usually get them in either bunches or bundles. Premium things like perhaps orchids, cymbidiums, you might buy one of those single stem. So let's talk about how many stems per bunch and how much I needed to actually buy to achieve this wedding. First off, I had 3 bunches of dahlias. There were 8 stems per bunch, so 24 total. Then I had 2 bunches of globe amaranth. There were about 5 stems per bunch, so 10 total. So the globe amaranth, even though we only had 5 stems total per bunch, it's a transitional flower. So there's lots of little stems coming off there. So once we cut it down into manageable pieces, we actually got a lot more than the 10 stems. Snapdragons, 8 stems per bunch, pretty standard, but if you get really short snapdragons, sometimes you might get more stems per bunch. Tulips, 10 stems per bunch. I had 2 bunches of tulips. Delphinium, 5 stems per bunch. This is pretty standard. And the wattle foliage, I had 2 bunches of wattle foliage. There were 5 stems per bunch. Again, much like the globe amaranth, very transitional. Each stem had multiple stems coming off it, so we ended up with a heap of wattle foliage. Okay, so what do we all want to know? How much did it cost? Now, again, full disclaimer, this is Sydney, Australia prices. These are wholesale prices that I paid at the Sydney Flower Market. If you are at the Sydney Flower Market, the general public can walk in and purchase wholesale flowers. This will vary wherever you are in the world. There are a lot of commercial flower markets that you're not allowed access to if you are the general public. You may need to have a license. Again, do your due diligence and look into this. I always recommend going directly to the flower farm for your wedding flowers, for your DIY wedding flowers. The reason being is you cut out the middleman, you get the freshest quality flowers possible, and you get all of that expert advice direct from the growers themselves. Again, if you're having trouble finding flower farms, check out my free guide. Now, as I keep saying, these are Sydney, Australia prices. I have done a little bit of research for all of our friends over in America. I know there are a lot of you that follow me on social media, so I've done a little bit of research into some prices for you guys as well. But here is exactly what I paid. 3 bunches of dahlias at $16 each, 2 bunches of the amaranth at $10 each, 1 bunch of snapdragons, $8, 2 bunches of tulips, 25 each. They're quite a premium product. Delphinium, $20, $25 a bunch each as well, also premium. Wattle foliage, $12 a bunch, 2 of those. This included my 10% tax, and there was also a little bit of a credit card surcharge on there as well. So roughly with the surcharge, we're probably sitting at like $180 it was that it cost me for all of this. As you can see, the tulips, delphinium, quite expensive. This was right at the beginning of sort of autumn. Tulips were probably only just coming into season. So usually when stuff is just coming into season, there's not a lot of it available, and that will drive up the price. So $180 is not bad. Having said that, it does not include our sundry. So things like our vases, our pins and ribbon for bouquets, flower foam. You're going to have to factor that sort of stuff into your overall budget. So now for all our friends in North America. Now, I did a little bit of research online. Obviously, I'm not there in person. I can't attend the flower markets. I did find quite a few online wholesalers that cater directly for DIY brides and that sort of stuff. So I've used a few of their pricings. The one thing that I did notice is that you do have to do a minimum order with these. So unlike going to the flower market or maybe even the farm or something, a farmer's market or something like that, I'm able to just walk up and buy whatever's on the floor. I can buy a bunch of this, 2 bunches of that, etc. Whereas if you're ordering online, you usually have to meet some sort of minimum quantity. So just keep that in mind. And that is what I've had to factor in here. The other thing is they're charging per stem as well. So I always like to go to the farms direct. However, these are fantastic resources and suppliers if you're looking for something super convenient. You just want things delivered directly to your door. You are going to pay for that convenience though. All right, so let's do a run through. So dahlias at $6 per stem, a minimum of 30 stems. I couldn't find any globe amaranth, so I substituted with billy buttons. Again, you're not going to get a lot of bang for your buck because these are not transitional flowers. So $3.70 per stem, a minimum of 30 stems. Snapdragons, $3.60 per stem, minimum of 30. Tulips, $3.90 per stem, 50 minimum. Delphinium, $4 per stem, 30 minimum. And the wattle foliage was charged by the bunch, $23 per bunch, minimum of 5 bunches. As you can see, those prices translate to being a little bit more expensive than Australia, but probably pretty standard within your region. Again, if you go direct to a farm, you're more than likely going to be able to get wholesale prices and get this a lot cheaper. If you want convenience, you're going to have to pay for it. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea on costings, on stem breakdowns, how much it might cost you to create a wedding of this size. Even if you're doing something a bit bigger, you can take their stem counts, you can plug them into a stem calculator. You can then increase the quantities to suit your size wedding. Again, I'll pop a bunch of resources in the description below, such as stem calculators and things like that. That helps. I've got lots of new tutorials coming up very soon, so make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that sort of stuff so you don't miss out. If there's any other content that you want to see, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, go out there and flower the crap out of your wedding, you goddamn queen.